Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and I'm checking out a 2018 Dodge Durango in the GT trim level. Now this one has the Blacktop package, upgraded premium group, and the awesome performance hood that's now available in the 2018 models. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Durango is sitting on 265/50 Bridgestone tires wrapped around a gloss black alloy wheel, 20-inch alloy wheel. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors in the front and solid disc rotors in the back. The name of this color is White Knuckle Clear Coat. Love that name, White Knuckle. Really gets you in the mood to cruise on the highway and check out an awesome vehicle. So check out the front end here. I just have to go straight to the hood. The performance hood in the 2018 model is available as an option. It reminds me of the SRT vehicles, the SRT Hellcat specifically is what it reminds me of. But it looks fantastic, and all these ports right here, they're not just for looks. They actually allow airflow, positive airflow, to go through the engine bay. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so here in the front, check it out, a lot of black, and you have a combination of black, gloss black and matte black here in the grille. Then you have the crosshair in the middle there, kind of blended in a little bit. Then of course you have the black there at the bottom, just a lot of black. Now I'm glad this vehicle is white because it has a high contrast with the black, so you can really see all the different black trimmings this vehicle has with the Blacktop package accenting the gloss black wheels. Now the fog lights are right down here, and they're in a projector tube. So actually has like a little projector tube. They're powered by halogen bulbs. Same thing with the headlights. They're in a projector tube for your low and your high beams. But check it out. You have a little bit of a metallic, say a gunmetal metallic bezel right in here, but the rest of it is all black, consistent with the Blacktop package. And then you have an LED accent right down here for your daytime running lights, which looks fantastic. I can't wait to do a night video on this vehicle and show it off because it's amazing. Headlights and tail lights. Okay, looking at the profile of the Durango. Now, it's all white except for right in here. Right in there, they put some, it's actually black, and then you have black around the windows there. That kind of divides up and makes the vehicle look longer and sleeker instead of having it, chopped up in little pieces. Really like the way they did that. And then of course you have the black roof rails across the top, and the privacy glass really looks good with the whole Blacktop package going on with the white. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed to where you just keep it in your pocket and you can use the vehicle 100%. But it does have very useful buttons: lock and unlock, power lift gate, remote start, and a panic button. You also have a physical key there on the inside in case you need it. You can slide that out. It does have a keyhole in the driver's door to access the vehicle, just in case the battery goes dead in this. So let's go ahead and let's try out the panic button. Nice, strong, powerful horn, and it flashes the lights and beeps the horn when the panic button is pushed. And then you have the remote start. Let's go ahead and start it up. We just double tap it. Now it chirps 2 times with the horn, but that feature can be turned off. So you don't necessarily want to have that all the time early in the morning if you're starting your vehicle. You don't want to have wake up the whole neighborhood. But anyways, that's a way of starting it up. And this key fob goes, I think it's like 100 yards or something. It goes really, really far. I have several videos of me remote starting my vehicle, my Dodge Challenger, from way far distances. It's amazing. So this really helps out with coming out of a store, you're walking out of a store or your home or whatever. You can go ahead and remote start the vehicle, get the air conditioning or the climate control going, and that way people can start getting in and everything's, the engine's warming up and all that stuff as you're getting in the vehicle, and then it's ready to go as soon as you get in. As long as you have the key with you, it can be in your pocket, a bag, or whatever. As long as it's within a close proximity of the vehicle, this door here. You can walk up, you can lock the doors by pushing this button. Or you can unlock them simply by putting your hand behind the handle. It senses the key within a close proximity of the door, and it senses your hand position and unlocks the doors. It allows you access to the vehicle without taking the key out of your pocket. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger side door, all soft to the touch. All in here, it's all soft, all the way up into the top. You don't get into any hard plastics until you get down in here. Has the premium Beats sound system. Storage pocket. The handle kind of serves as a storage pocket. Then you have one right in here. And then, of course, you have your bottle holder and then a larger storage pocket down there. But check out this little accent. It's kind of like a, I don't know, similar to a carbon fiber or just kind of a sporty looking accent across the door. Here's your threshold with an aluminum sill plate with the Dodge name. And check it out. You have a combination of power. You have your power down here and manual seats here for the passenger. So this button is able to go forward and back, up and down. This one just tilts to the back. And then there's a 4-way power lumbar adjustment, which is nice. Usually those are only reserved for drivers since they're typically treated with more features. Then you have the leather trimmed leather seats with the suede here in the center. So this is the perforated suede seats here in the center. Very comfortable. And it kind of reminds me of the Scat Pack Challenger, the way these seats are laid out in this vehicle. So it has the French design stitching, not contrast stitching, but it is in there anyway. Floor mats hook in place or snap in place in 2 places, and not much tapering as far as your legs. So there's plenty of leg room. Soft to the touch dash. It's kind of like a Nerf material or something like that. It's very soft. And then you have that that accent that extends here on the center of the dash. Lockable glove compartment. Let's take a look at that. And it's a felt lined glove compartment. So not only does it, you know, it's not like it's regular plastic, but it's felt lined so that way things don't rattle around in it. And it has a place right up in here to store the manual, up in that area. So that way you don't have to take up your precious space down here for your manual. You can put other stuff there. Okay, let's look in the back seat. So check out the privacy glass. It's nice and dark. It's it keeps people from looking in, but also helps with the glare of the sun. So looking out, it's pretty easy to see out. And it does reduce, actually enhances your view out because it, you know, reduces the glare of the sun. So that's always nice. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door. And you notice it has that same accent across the back, soft to the touch around your arm and up here as well. Then you have the hard plastic starting down in here. Cup holder, little storage pocket there as well. There's your threshold. And I like the way they put the hard plastic right here, protecting you know, people getting in and out of the vehicle. It kind of protects this carpet area. So the second row seats are a bench seat. So basically goes all the way across. You have space for 3 passengers back here in the second row. Now if you only have 2, you can have the armrest with cup holders folded down, but you can move that easily out of the way. It does have the latch system for car seats, or ISOFIX. That's what they call it in some places. Now these back seats are heated too. So you have the suede here in the center with the perforations. Plenty of leg room. Little bit of a hump there in the center, but not too bad. And then down in here, of course, you have your vents for your climate control, but you also have your heated 2-stage heated seat controls here, and the 2 USB ports. These are for charging only, so when you charge your device while you're riding in the back. And then there's also an Edison outlet here for, you know, plugging in a cell phone or something like that. You also have the net pockets in the back of the front seats. Now you notice the front seats are kind of curved in, has these little bag holders right here, and it's kind of dished out concave, so that way it gives you a little bit extra space for the second row passengers, and also giving you a durable surface on the back of the front seats, especially when the kids are in the back. Maybe they kick the front seats or something like that. Really gives a nice durable surface. Your rear climate control can be controlled right here So you have your fan speed, your temperature, and where you want the air to blow, just like your front, a little bit simplified version of the front. We'll show all that when we get to the front. Then you have the vents all in the ceiling here. Okay, so accessing the third row, these seats actually have a two positions. So the first position, you lift this up and it kind of folds down there. It folds the headrest and kind of flops the seat down, putting it in a cargo mode. So you can fold down these seats and add to your cargo space. But the second position is you pull up on the strap and it kind of lifts up for you and puts it in a position to access the third row. So now you can just step right on in here and access the third row. Now you notice the seats aren't terribly close to the floor, so that way it helps out with your, if you have kind of long legs, sitting back here is not a big deal, too bad, especially for short trips. Some third row seats are like right on the floor, so your knees are sticking up in the air. This one seems to be a little bit better than that. Then you have your armrest here, cup holders, same styling with the leather and the suede. Looking at the back of the vehicle, so you have the roof rails there with the cross members. They're able to go across the sides from one end to the other, so that way you can actually use them for luggage and stuff. And then there's a little shark fin antenna here, third brake light, and little washer right next to it, and a rear wiper, which is always nice. And check it out, the backup camera is right here in this center position, right below the D right here. So it's always good to have the camera, backup camera, in my opinion, in the very center position. So that way kind of eliminates the distortion. There's always gonna be a little bit of distortion with a wide angle camera, but this gives you a little bit more logical viewpoint. Parking sensors across the back. These little circles right here. Across the back of the vehicle, those are your parking sensors. You also have the ability to put a towing package. You see this little cover right here. That's removable, and then they can put a tow hitch there. And then you can actually have another cover to cover it up when you're not using it, which is nice. True dual exhaust in this vehicle. So you have your two exhaust ports there. And you probably saw in the beginning of the vehicle that it actually has a true dual exhaust, which is really nice. Sounds good, and it gives you really good performance when you have the proper airflow. The tail lights, now it has an LED strip, goes all the way across back here, and so it's a combination of LED and standard bulbs for your turn signals and back and reverse lights and your tail lights. Okay, so this is a power lift gate. So let's go ahead and open it up using the key. Now there's actually a button, if you don't want to use the key, there's actually a button just under here that you just push and it'll just lift up. But we're going to go ahead and use the key since we're showing that off. So we just double tap this button and it's just going to rise up for you. And look at there, two sources of light underneath the lift gate, so that way when you're standing here, it illuminates the ground, it illuminates everywhere, and hopefully I'll be able to do a night video showing you how nice that feature is. Okay, so here's your cargo space. So when you have all the seats occupied with passengers, here's your cargo space. And it has a little storage compartment right in here. So the storage compartment goes down in there quite a ways. And it's a durable plastic. This is actually removable, so you can clean it and put it back in. You have these places to put it like a net pocket back here. You also have tie downs here, here. Little bag holder, 12-volt power supply that's switched with ignition. And I like the way they have these little skid plates right here, so when you're sliding something in, it kind of, you know, protects the surface of the vehicle. And it looks pretty cool too. And this lifts up, and check it out, you actually have more cargo space. A lot more under here. So you can put whatever you want back here, and your jack for your spare tire is behind that cover. Now, if you need to add to the cargo space, it's really easy. So all you would need to do is, so this is a 50-50 split third row seat. So we pull that, it drops the headrest, and then you just kind of push it down. So now I've added to my cargo space by one seat. Now I can start folding seats down and have a combination of cargo and passenger space depending on my needs in the moment. If I fold all the seats down, I have this massive cargo space back here, which is unreal. It's fantastic. Okay, so to lower the power tailgate, you can of course use the key, or you can just simply push this button. It beeps at you a couple times, and then it starts coming right on down. Now, if something were to get in the way, like my hand, a little bit of resistance makes it go back up. Now, so it's not gonna like crush your arm or anything, but you do have to watch out for fingers, especially with small children, because it will, you know, pinch them a little bit if they get in the way. But you can see it comes down slow and engages it slow. It has a locking fuel door, and it's here on the driver's side, which is nice and convenient. And it's a capless design, little seal around the outside, but basically you just pump your gas. You don't have to worry about a cap. You don't have to worry about the cap being loose and turning your check engine light or anything like that on. So that's fantastic. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it can be in your pocket, a bag, whatever. You just put your foot on the brake and hold it there and push this button to start it. Okay, here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Floor mat hooks in place in two places, just like the passenger. There's your accelerator and brake pedal, a foot actuated parking brake right here, and just behind it is a footrest. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood is really easy. There's a latch a little bit to the right of center. So here's your center line, a little bit to the right of there. You just reach in and you move it to the left and you lift the hood up. It takes almost no effort to lift it up to a certain point, and then it goes the rest of the way up by itself. And there's the latch right there. Just reach in and move it like that, lifts it right up. And we'll go ahead and start with these ventilation ports for the performance hood. You can see they go right through, allowing a little bit more airflow as you're driving. For the engine compartment, and you see it's insulated as well. And also you have the seal around the entire hood. So you can see all the way around here as a seal. So when you put the hood down, it forces the air, it keeps the air from going in and out of that area. So it has a controlled flow of air for the cooling system and everything. And also it helps out with sound too. You have an insulated firewall, which helps out with the sound and the heat transfer, keeping the heat out of the compartment. And also there's some heat shielding there at the bottom. Okay, so 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. Absolutely mind-blowing engine. Typically, if you haven't driven a V6 in several years and you're thinking that it's weak or something like that, well, this will surprise you. This paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, you really have to take one for a test drive before you opt for a V8, just to kind of experience it, make sure that you may be able to handle the V6 might be enough for you, because it is very, very impressive. It does, of course, you can get a V8 in the Durango. You can see a little bit of space here in the front of the engine, allowing for that capability. It's too bad it's covered up with plastic, but there is an engine under there. You can see a little bit around the edge. The side mirror is a gloss black, and also it has a little LED strip right here for your turn signal indicator. It's more visible here on the side than in the back. So when you're looking at the taillights, they're flashing, but these LEDs are more visible from the side, so that way people can tell which way you're turning. Here's the inside of the driver's door. Now it's just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have your 2 presets that you can save for your power seat here for your driver. And you have your door lock controls, power window controls. Now the front 2 are automatic, 1 touch down and 1 touch up. Now one thing I want to point out is this is a laminated glass. So it actually has 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material in the center, kind of helping out with sound transfer and also giving a more solid glass structure. The power side mirrors are adjusted right here, so you have left and right. Just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. Okay, so I mentioned that the driver has a little bit more features typically. Well, here's the example. Has the power seat for everything here for the driver, including the 4-way lumbar adjustments. Okay, so right in here, we already saw the fuel door release, but here's the headlight controls. So headlights, you have automatic, off, parking light, and then headlights on. And then you push this in for your fog lights. This is the interior dimmer switch for your gauges. It also has a tilt and telescoping. You notice this is a ambidextrous lever right there, so you can push it down from either side. It's right in the center. It's easy to find. You can tilt it up and down to column, and then you can also go in and out, so that way you can get that perfect position and then lock it in place. Okay, so let's take a look on the inside from the driver's seat. So, looking awesome. Always like the Durangos. So, I want to point out, I'm 6 feet tall. I have the seat all the way back, which is further back than where I could actually drive the vehicle. It's a little bit too far back to practically drive it. So I can touch the pedals a little bit, but I can't really touch the footrest. And knee room is fantastic. Just plenty of possible leg room up here in the front when you need it. Okay, so let's look at the steering wheel. It's a leather wrap steering wheel with the smooth leather down in here. And then right here on the sides, it has the perforation, or the perforated leather. It extends around in this area. A little bit of a handle, and then it goes back into the smooth leather on the top. Looks awesome. It's soft to the touch, very comfortable steering wheel. Probably one of the most comfortable steering wheels. And you have a little bit of a grip down here as well, but really nice. Paddle shifters across the back. You have a plus and negative, minus, so that way you can shift up and down on the 8-speed transmission manually using the, of course, a shifter, or you can use the paddle shifters. Here on the right side is your cruise control. On the back side, just underneath the paddle shifter, is this little toggle switch with a center button on the right side. Back here, it's designed where your fingers line up with it when your hand's right here. But that's your volume for your radio, and then the center button is changed through different audio sources. On the back on this side, just below the paddle shifter, is the up and down is to change through radio stations or audio tracks, and then the center button is for cycling through your presets on your radio. Right in here is your Bluetooth control, so you can answer calls, hang up, and then you have a very extensive voice recognition control feature on this vehicle, to where you can not only send calls, but also go to different addresses on the navigation system, change the radio station, all kinds of different features that you can stay productive doing while keeping your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, and just using your voice, which is nice. It's well worth getting used to. I mean, there's some commands that you have to say a certain way, but once you know how to do it, it's really nice. So these buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Here's your turn signal with your windshield wiper controls for your front and rear. Okay, so looking at the gauges, nice. I like the way it has that red in the background, accenting the black, and then the white letters has that sporty looking white letters popping out, easy to focus on, and just looking really nice. So the RPMs are there on the left side, and the right side you have your engine coolant temperature and your fuel gauge. Right here in the center is a big screen which has a lot of information. Right now this is customizable, but you have your digital compass, outside temperature, your odometer, and right now it's showing a speedometer. So if I use these buttons right here and I push the right arrow, it's going to change the regular speedometer to a digital, big, nice, easy to read digital speedometer, which is nice. Now you notice these little icons right here. This is a whole part of a whole menu system. So scrolling down, if I go there to the right or left, either way, scroll down, it's going to either put the information in the center of this big dial, or if I have the digital speedometer and I scroll down, it's going to just move the digital speedometer up and put the information right there. So let me zoom in slightly just so you can see. So right now we're in the vehicle info screen. Scrolling to the right and left will give me more information, temperatures and pressures throughout the vehicle, and it's all there by scrolling left and right. Scrolling down again gives me the fuel economy, so we can have the range. We can show instant fuel economy by scrolling here to the right, and then you have the current fuel economy right there, and it has a little bar there to showing you what you're getting. Scrolling down, you have your trip. You have trip A and trip B. It not only does it give you your distance traveled, but also the average miles per gallon and the time it took to travel that distance. Scrolling down, this is your electronic stop start feature. You can turn that off when you get in the vehicle, but just default is on. Now it's not going to work unless certain parameters are met, so right now it's telling you that the seatbelt's unbuckled. Scrolling down, this is what your radio is doing, which right now it's not doing anything. Stored messages will show up here. And then you can go into your screen setup, so we can change the different things there in the corner. So you notice it has this little red thing showing you which one we're adjusting, and we can change and put different things. Let's say we want to put the range there, so let's change that to let's see here, let's go to range. So now we have the range there in the corner. Scrolling down again goes back to the digital speedometer. So all that information is there when we need it, but we don't have to go in there if we don't want to. Okay, so let's take a look at the touchscreen. So the touchscreen is really, really nice for the 2018 models. It's the kind of the basic Uconnect system that they've had before. It's just cleaned up and just easy to see, and the clarity and the resolution of the screen is just fantastic. So we have the icons across the bottom, and they stay there, so it's easy to find where you want to go. Then you have your temperature setting for your driver and passenger, outside temperature, and then your clock is here. So right now we're in the first icon, which is the radio screen. We have AM, FM, satellite radio, and it has a nice display there in the center showing what's playing. And then you have your presets or favorites there at the top. We can also adjust the audio by going in here, and we can adjust it like so, or we could just grab that little dot and move it around. Let's say we put it all the way up there and we want to put it back in the center. We just hit the C there and it'll put it in the center like so. And you have an equalizer, speed adjusted volume. You can adjust the sensitivity or turn that off. Let's go to the next icon, which is your media. Bluetooth, auxiliary, USB 1 and USB 2. These are your different inputs for your media sources besides your radio, so you can play music through all these different sources, which is really good. And of course, basically the same thing with the audio. Climate control is your next icon. So where you want the air to blow, your fan speed is all controlled here on the touchscreen, your temperature for your driver and your passenger, which you can sync those if you want, and then all the, recirculate the air. You can actually go into your rear climate, and you can adjust it here. You can lock it to where the kids in the back can't change it in the back, and you can only change it here. And then you have your front and rear defrosters and all that. Okay, so apps right here gives you all the different possible apps that you can have. Since there's not enough room to have them all here, you can go here and see all of them. So your heated seat, passenger seats, travel link, which is really nice. You can go in there and see fuel prices and different things, and find a close fuel station or sort it by price or whatever. You can see the weather. Travel link's a good option to have. All right, and so you also have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay capabilities. Heated steering wheel, you can turn that on there. Now, right now, see it has this controls. Let's go into this controls right now for just a second. You have heated seats for your driver and passenger, heated steering wheel. We can fold the headrest all the way in the back. So the third row headrest, we can fold those here. So I can literally, I'll just show you right now. So you can see one, I only have one up. Let's go ahead and push it. So you can see you can fold those down. So that way it adds to your visibility in the back just by folding that down, which is pretty neat. And then you can always look at the backup camera even if you're not in reverse. So you just go like that. Now, we're in the apps right now, okay? So we're in the controls, and when we went to the backup camera, it put us back in the apps. What you could do is, let's say this right here, this controls. If we wanted to put travel link right there, we could just press and hold it, and it'll allow us to switch that icon with travel link instead of having that one. So you can kind of customize these icons here at the bottom a little bit. Has a little spot there so you can put them, but so that, and on all your apps will be there in the center. Okay, let's go to the next icon. Here's your navigation. You can put in a specific address. You can save your home address, or you can have a whole bunch of them saved actually, and then you can search them here. You can actually let's just go ahead and view the map and see what it looks like. Now you notice that as you're zooming out, these street names are fairly easy to see. They try to give you an enlarged, high contrast name here. It's in a good font that's easy to see, you know, at a glance. And then as you zoom out, it's going to give you the main features, the main roads here. So that way it can enlarge those letters, and then to give you the you know, the key information as you're zooming out. And then you can really zoom out if you want to where you can actually see the ocean and everything. Okay, so next icon is your phone. We're not going to pair a phone right now, but once you do pair a phone, you have access to your recent calls, your favorites, all your contacts, and you can pair up to, I think it's 6 phones, and using a priority system. So depending on which one you want priority over the other one, it'll do that. It'll basically choose that one. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the touchscreen. Now you'll notice there's some extra buttons down here for your climate control and stuff. So there's some redundancy. You don't actually have to go into the screen all the time in order to do certain features. Now you notice as traditional volume and tune through the stations, you can mute your radio. Your 4-way flashes are here. You can always turn the screen off if it's just distracting you. You can just push that button at any time, touch the screen, and it turns right back on. Okay, so your more climate control buttons down here just to give you an extra way of changing them rapidly. So it's really easy to go ahead and change the fan speed or whatever, or adjust your temperatures simply by pushing those physical buttons. And then your front and rear defroster, recirculate the air, and all that is down here. Your parking sensors, so as you're backing up, if you're beeping or something and you don't want them to beep, you can turn them off. You can also turn off the electric stop-start feature, which will stop the engine while you're holding the brake for an extended period of time while you're at a stoplight or a traffic signal or something like that. And then the Eco, you could turn that off. Sport, you could turn on, and then your traction control is default on, but you can turn it off there. Okay, so let's look down here. Check it out. You have a 12-volt power supply. This turns on and off the ignition. And then you have a USB and 2 USB ports and an auxiliary port right there, and a place to put stuff. But also this is a place to put your cell phone when you have it plugged in for the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This little compartment has a rubber lining which is removable, so you can take this out, clean it, and put it back in. That's a pretty neat feature. Illuminated cup holders, and they have a removable rubber floor here, so you can remove that, clean it, and put it back in. Just about all the compartments do. Okay, so here's your shifter. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse and look at that backup camera again. I want to show you it has the active guidelines. So as I turn the steering wheel, it's going to turn the move the lines. Now the lines, you can in the settings turn those on and off if you want to. But there's another thing, when you put it in reverse, the parking sensors activate, and it gives you a little visual representation right here of the parking sensors as you back up. So I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit, and I have my tripod, and you notice my tripod's here. So let's turn the steering wheel, aim it right directly at that tripod, and we'll kind of back up and go right for it. closer. There we go, starting to beep at us now. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So now it's giving me a visual and an audible warning here, letting me know that we're getting pretty close to something. And you notice it gives me an estimate on where it is in relationship to the vehicle. Now if I really back up, it's gonna get louder or more rapid, and also change that to a red alert instead of a yellow alert. So let's go ahead and just pull back up so we don't have to hear that. But another thing about the shifter, I'm going to zoom back out. The shifter, if we go here to there's neutral and then there's drive. The drive mode is here. That's your cycle through your 8 gear ratios. You can always move it over here to your manual mode and use it like a ratchet shifter and change through the gears. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show right here, right in that area there. So we're at first, second. It's not going to allow me to like start off in 8th gear or anything. So it's going to keep me in within a certain, logical range, I guess, as we're driving. At any time, you can just bump it back in the drive to, have the vehicle take over on the shifting part. Okay, so here's your armrest, soft to the touch. Stitching here on the sides. Might be big enough to share with your passenger. So this has 2 compartments. It has a small compartment on the top, and there's actually 2 buttons. One on top, the small, the other one's big. So let's go to the small one, which opens up the small compartment here on top. And it's a felt lined compartment, so that way you can, put some stuff in here, and there's a place for wires to go in and out here. Pushing the larger button allows access to the larger compartment, which is also felt lined. It also has a 12-volt power supply in there, but this one, you'll notice instead of having a key, this one has a battery because this is directly connected to the battery. We don't have to have the ignition on for it to be activated, so you can plug in a cell phone or whatever you want and charge it while you're going to the store. You don't have to have the vehicle running or even on. And it has a little space there for the wires to go in and out of this compartment. Alright, so here's your rear view mirror. Now it's an auto dim rear view mirror, and let's go ahead and see if we can cover up the light sensor and see if I can get it to auto dim right now. Yes, you can see it's getting a little bit dimmer. It's hard to see a little bit during the day, especially on this camera. Maybe you can see here the side mirror auto dims. You can see that a little bit better. Only the driver's side, not the passenger side, doesn't auto dim. Now you could turn that feature off by pushing this button right here, but generally it's on. Then you have your roadside assistance and emergency buttons here to talk to your roadside assistance operator. Place to put your sunglasses or just extra storage right in here, and it has like a foam material on the inside to protect your sunglasses. Interior lights, you have a tap light, more of a floodlight there, and then you have more of a spotlight by pushing that button. Same thing for your passenger side. Home link garage door opener controls are here. This is for your sunroof, which we'll get to in just a minute. Your visor has mirrors and lights. It also has the ability to extend out when you need it. Same thing on the passenger side. Okay, so let's look at this sunroof. Now, it has a shade that covers up 100% of the light when you don't want any light coming in, so you can manually move that back. You can vent it by pushing this button, or you can slide it back. And then you notice it slides back into the roof of the vehicle. It doesn't go up above the roof. And then when you don't want any light coming in, you can just simply close that. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. So you can see you have plenty of light shining through the back there. There's lots of windows. Even with the privacy glasses, still you're able to see quite well. Now it depends on, I do have the headrest in the third row down now, but they don't get in the way too much. Now if you have passengers, of course, in the way, then it's going to impede your view. But of course it has the parking sensors, the camera system, and all that stuff to help you out. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the window sticker. So you can use the pause button to read all the details if you want to. But it's 2018 model, so people can test that. When I first put up videos, when they first hit the lot, they'd say it's 2017 or something like that, but there it is. 2018 white knuckle clear coat. And you can see the optional stuff is right here. So it starts off with the standard equipment, goes down to exterior features, and then it goes up here. There's interior features, and then there's exterior features, and then it goes to your optional equipment, and then you have the premium group, the blacktop package, and then the performance hood. So it's additional cost for each one of these features in the optional equipment. All right, there you have it. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you to Vann Underwood here in Whiteville, North Carolina. Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.